Hey, what's going on, everybody? Jake here with Venture Visuals, and today I'm going to be showing you guys some fundamentals every editor should know. And these are going to be techniques, tricks, and effects that you should be using to glue your edits together to give it one cohesive look. So if you guys are ready to elevate your editing game, make sure to hit the like button down below and let's get into it. The first mistake I see a lot of video editors making is totally random shot selection. So say you have a video with 3 different environments. Maybe you shot a music video and you shot downtown, you shot at somebody's house, and then you shot at a park. I see a lot of people just taking one shot from each of those environments and just applying them throughout the timeline in random spots. Your edits will flow better if you keep the shots from each specific environment collected and together in your timeline. So what I mean by that is, say you are shooting in a park. You want those scenes at the park to kind of be next to each other in the timeline. It will flow a lot better and it won't look so random. Another big mistake I see video editors grappling with is not following the movement of the shot in their edit. So what I mean by that is, say you have a shot that moves from the right side to the left side, right? We're panning from right to left. The next shot should also be panning from right to left. That way the movement stays the same throughout 2 different shots. I see a lot of people that are putting in shots that are going from right to left, and then the next one is going from left to right, or maybe top to bottom, and your eye is kind of going all over the place. And the same goes for adding effects. Say you have a camera movement from right to left. You want your transition to the next clip to also be from right to left. My advice is to try your hardest to pair shots with similar movement together in your timeline. The next tip I have for you guys is to focus on where the focal point is in your shots. So for me, I'm editing a lot of music videos. The focal point of most of the shots is usually the artist or the musician. When I'm editing, I try not to pair shots together where the artist is on one side of the screen in the first shot and then he's on the complete opposite side of the screen in the next shot. Because what does that do to the viewer's eye? It goes from here to there, maybe back to here, right? It's all over the place. Say you have a shot of the artist here centered in the frame. You want the next shot to also be a shot of him centered in the frame, right? So that way your eye doesn't have to move all over the screen. Now, if you have a couple shots where, you know, the artist is over here on this side and then maybe over here on this side, you can add effects like zoom ins and outs to kind of balance the focal point in your frame. So maybe, you know, if an artist is over here on this side of the frame, you can zoom in on that side of the frame in your transition and then zoom out from that same area of the frame on the next shot, even though he'll be on the other side of the frame. So you want to kind of like stitch together the focal points in your footage. My next tip for gluing your edits together is going to be color grading and applying a master grade on top of your entire project. Typically, when I import footage into Premiere Pro, there's a few different scenes included in each edit, and you want to do your best to basically match the color of each of those scenes, each of those shots together so that they all look like they have a similar contrast level, similar highlight level, similar color temperatures. You don't want the color between scenes to be all over the place. So step 1 is going to be going pretty much clip by clip through your timeline and color grading each clip so that they all have similar characteristics. Now, once you finish your edit and you've applied a color grade to all of the individual video clips in your timeline, what I like to do is apply an adjustment layer across my entire timeline and put a Lumetri color on top of the entire video. So typically on this adjustment layer that's applied throughout my timeline, I don't do extreme color grading on this layer. I just add a little bit of maybe contrast, a little bit of sharpening throughout the entire project. And I might also add this effect in Lumetri color called faded film. So I highly recommend that when you are editing your videos, color grade each shot individually. Try to get it as cohesive as possible with each shot, and then apply an adjustment layer over the entire project where you can apply maybe a LUT, or you can do some finer tweaking there just to kind of really give your project one cohesive vibe. The next tip I have for getting a cohesive edit is applying flash effects, transitions, and cross dissolves between your footage. I know these aren't the most exciting or advanced effects to throw on your timeline. At the end of the day, sometimes the smaller effects make the biggest difference. For me, if I have an edit that is super heavy on effects, I try to still let the edit breathe a little bit and not put crazy transitions in between every single shot. Sometimes it's okay to just let some of your shots breathe a little bit, not apply that many VFX to it, and use simple flash effects, flash transitions to kind of elevate it but not overwhelm the viewer viewer who's watching. And the same can be said about cross dissolves in between your footage as well. I find that the cross dissolve is a timeless transition. So don't be sleeping on these basic effects. You know, it's okay to break it down and use some of these more beginner transitions and effects in your edits that have a lot other stuff going on. The next tip I have for you guys to really make your edits feel cohesive is to not overdo the overlays. Overlays, as you probably know, are very, very fun to use and can really make your edits pop. So for me personally, I like to choose maybe 1 or 2 packs of overlays for each project, and I try not to go above and beyond that. I want the edit to have maybe the same overlays kind of repeating throughout the video. You can play around with blending modes and stuff if you want to keep things fresh. I know it's really easy to go download 100 different packs and, you know, use different assets from all those packs. But for me personally, I like to find 1 or 2 packs and then just stick to what's in those packs for each edit. Now, I do have some free overlays that you guys can try out on your next edit. If you are interested, please click the link down below and go check out my website. The next tip I have for you guys is to use similar looking effects throughout your edit. So for me, I like to really brainstorm and imagine one kind of distinctive style effect that I can use throughout each edit. You'll notice this if you go on my page and look at my portfolio. Every edit kind of has that one distinctive style that you see repeat throughout the video. For me, this could be something like a mixed media effect that you create 3 different versions of for your edit. Maybe for another person, it might be a rotoscope transition where you're zooming through a person multiple times in one edit. You want to have recurring effects that look the same. This will help really give it a style, really help it feel cohesive. I see a lot of editors that learn 100 different effects and transitions and they throw all of it into the same edit. I would say imagine what that one effect is going to look like throughout different scenes in your video and stick to that effect. The last tip I have for you guys today to really glue your edits together is to utilize sound effects. I don't see enough editors using sound effects, and I know sound effects aren't typically why people get into editing in the first place, but they are so important into increasing the quality of your edits and showing the client that you went the extra mile to make their video look and feel amazing. When people are watching edits, a lot of times today, they watch them with the sound off. We all know this. We're scrolling on our phones. We're not hearing the edit personally. But for those people in the audience that do have the sound turned on and are listening to the edit, it's important that you make it as good as possible. You want to really suck them in, and using sound effects is a great way to do that because not only are you now hitting on their visual, you're also hitting on what they're hearing. It could be something as simple as adding a swoosh sound effect to a whip pan transition in your edit. So that pretty much concludes today's video. I just wanted to make this video because a lot of people that send me edits are missing some of these things in their techniques, and I want to really help my audience understand why these things matter, why these things are important, and maybe bring awareness to using some of these techniques in your next edit as well, so that you can impress your own clients, so that you can have a better portfolio, so that you can elevate your quality as an editor as well. If you are interested in getting some free overlays and transition presets, go ahead and check out my website, venturvisuals.com. I do have a free pack on there where you can try all my paid packs completely free of charge. If that sounds interesting to you, make sure to check the description down below this video. I am trying to get back on YouTube pretty much full time and make a bunch more videos. So if you guys have any video ideas for me to create for this channel, please drop them down below in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. And if you want to just chat or need feedback on a video project, or if you want to get edits done for your video, make sure to reach out to me on Instagram at venturvisuals. I'll include a link to my page down below as well. I really appreciate everybody for tuning in. I'm Jake Benner. Peace out.